Today I'm going to show you how to work a mitered square. It's a fun little design to make squares that you can use to make scarves and afghans, and I'll show you a sample of a mitered square blanket I made at the end of this video. But to start with, you're going to cast on stitches, and you want to cast on an even number of stitches plus 1. So for this example, I have cast on 22 stitches plus 1. So I have 23 stitches on my needle. I used a long tail cast on, but you can use any kind of cast on that you want. The first step is to knit the first row. I'm going to make my square in garter stitch. You can make it in stockinette stitch. It will tend to want to curl because that's what stockinette stitch tends to want to do. So I'm going to make mine in garter stitch for the sake of this example. And the blanket that I created that I will show you, I did the entire thing in garter stitch. And it turned out great. So I'm going to finish knitting this row, and then we will start working a mitered square. Okay, the fun thing about this stitch is we're going to create a square out of this. So what we're going to do is work a double decrease in the center of the square every other row. So we will do a double decrease and then knit back, a double decrease and then knit back, and that will create this oblong set of stitches into a square. So let's start. I have 23 stitches, and I need to find the center 3 stitches. So to do a little math, I'm going to have 10 stitches on one end, 10 stitches on the other end, and the 3 stitches in the middle that we're going to work the double decrease. So I'm going to knit 10, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I just heard my kitty cat sneeze. 9, 10. I just double checked to make sure I didn't miscount. So I've got 10 stitches knit. I'm going to work a double decrease over the next 3 stitches. And to do that, I'm going to slip 1 stitch as if to purl. So I go into the stitch like I'm going to purl it, and I just pull it off of the needle. Then I'm going to take the next 2 stitches and knit them together. So the next is a knit 2 together. Then that slipped stitch, I'm going to pull it up and over and cast it off over the knit 2 together stitch. So I've just taken away 2 stitches, and now I have 1 stitch in its place. That was a double decrease. So now I'm just going to knit to the end, and then I'm going to knit the back to the beginning. So we'll finish this row, turn around and knit 1 row, so once again I'm going to find my center 3 stitches and work the double decrease there. A little hint to try and always find those is you can put a marker on your needle, but I find it's a little harder to do that when I'm trying to count. So each time I do a double decrease row, I'm going to be decreasing the number of stitches on each end. So when I started, I had 10 stitches on each end with 3 in the middle. Now I'm going to have 9 stitches on each end with 3 in the middle. So now I'm going to knit 9 stitches. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now I'm going to work the double decrease again. I'm going to slip 1 as if to purl, knit 2 together, and slip this past the slipped stitch up and over and cast it off. That's the double decrease, knit to the end. You continue with this pattern of doing the double decrease every other row until you get down to 3 stitches. I'm going to speed this video up and get to the end of the mitered square. As you continue to do this, you'll start to see that this middle stitch, this middle area where you're decreasing stitches, starts to become a corner. It's kind of magic how it happens. So I'm going to go ahead and fast forward this video to the end and show you what to do when you get to the end of your square. Okay, I've gotten down to my 3 stitches left, and to end this, I'm going to slip 1, put my yarn in back, knit 2 together, take that slip stitch over. I have 1 stitch left, so I'm going to go ahead and cut my yarn. Pull the tail through, and then I could weave in my ends. And I've made a nice little mitered square. You could change colors every other row. You could do all kinds of different things to make a nice mitered square blanket or a scarf or a cowl. So many things that you can make out of this cool little technique. Let me know what you think about this technique and leave a comment down below. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. I appreciate that. We'll see you next time. Bye.